Praise God for all of you incredible people. I cannot wait to see you in heaven. I can't wait. This is Garrett, tears2joyministries.org. This video is going to be called, Wow, a Strange Story Here. I want to share with you a true story that happened. About 5 years ago, I met a Christian man on the internet, and we got along fine, and he's about my age. He's married, he has some children, and he's got a wonderful family. He really does. And we started just chit-chatting and talking on the internet, and they were wealthy, and I was very, very broke. Not only was I broke, I was really battling some financial tests from God. I was going through tests and trials and tribulations on financial topics, and the pressure and stress were bearing down on me month after month after month as I struggled in financial difficulty. Now, I don't want to give out the man's real name, so let's just call him John. And John had a great job, and John was wealthy. And we were talking almost every day on the internet, having a good time. And he started making promises to me. And he said, Garrett, if you'll go study this, I'll get you a really good job. You'll be able to work at home, and I'm going to pay you a lot of money every week, and you can work for me. And I did what he said, and the job never happened. And he never brought it up again. And I tried to hint to him. I tried to drop some hints about, hey, I'm ready to work. Hey, I learned everything you asked me to. And he wouldn't talk about it. And he wouldn't bring it up. And he never gave me that job. He never did. Then a few weeks went by, and he knew clearly that I was really, really struggling financially. And there was someone that I care about very, very, very much, and she needed some financial help. Well, John promised to help her. And John promised to have one of his associates bring her some food and help her to pay the utility bills and try to give her some extra money. And John was so sincere, I believed him 100%. I would have swore to you that John was going to have one of his friends go help her. You see, I didn't have the money to help her, so John offered to help. And that was very nice and kind of him. And day after day went by, and I would contact her every few days, and John's friend never came by to give any help. And I gave him the address, and I gave him the instructions, and, well, some more time went by, and no help ever came. Now John comes on the internet. We're talking almost every day, building up an internet friendship, centered on Jesus, centered on the Bible, centered on doing ministry work. And I had to mention, because I was kind of shy, and I had to mention, John, I guess your friend never came by to give the food or to help pay the bills. And John said that he did, but nobody answered the door. So I said, John, are you sure about that? Because my friend said that nobody ever came by. And John swore to me. He promised to me, yes, his friend did come by. He knocked on the door, but nobody ever answered. So what I did now is I had a long talk with my friend. And I said, hey, have you been home on these days? And she said, yes. And I said, did you ever hear anybody knocking? And she said, no. Well, after having a talk with her, I had to choose which side I was going to believe. Well, since John broke his promise about getting me that job where I could work at home, making a lot of money, and since I started getting a very strange feeling inside of me about John, I decided, wow, he never even sent his friend to go help her. Yet he promised he would on multiple occasions, and he's even telling me that his friend came by with the money and with the food. So I'm getting a very strange feeling inside of me. So now some time goes by, and I'm talking with John on the internet every day, and I was doing terrible. I was getting attacked with fear and anxiety and depression, and I was battling some addictions. And John would John would preach to me, and I would feel a little bit better. I really would. John was very smart, and it seems like he was very close with the Lord, and he gave great Christian advice. And we started talking on the phone sometimes, and I would usually feel much better. I mean, his preaching and his theology really helped me. And after the phone call was over, I would feel much better. So now I'm really confused. First, John lies to me about the job working at home, and he and his friend are lying about showing up at my friend's house to help with some food and to help pay some bills. But now God really blesses John in my life, because when I really needed some help, when I was doing very badly, I would call John on the phone, and after we talked for 10 minutes, I usually felt a lot better. And now I'm thinking, wow, this is a really strange experience. I mean, I'm not a brand new Christian. I've been working with tens of thousands of other Christians with all different personalities, all different beliefs. But I had never seen anything like this before. But it didn't stop there. John said that he was moving to my city. You see, he lived on the east coast of the USA. I live on the west coast. And he and his wife and children were moving to my city, actually very close to me. And he said that they bought a big house, and this big house also had a back house. It had a house in the back that he said I could live in for free. And he showed me pictures of it on the internet, and that would have really blessed me. I mean, that would have been a great blessing. Guess what? That never happened either. That never happened. But now listen to this. When the demons were attacking me, and I was doing very badly during the same period of time, he would talk with me about Christian principles, and the demons would leave. They would literally leave right then and right there. And I would feel better as I get off the phone with him. And these types of scenarios went on and on and on. Wow, what a very strange experience this was. Now, my life started falling apart more. I had severe financial difficulty, and I fell back down into old addictions and all kinds of problems. And even though John had lied to me about multiple promises. One night I was doing so badly, I had to call him on the phone. I just needed help so badly. My life had completely fallen apart. And he knew right away that there were many demons attacking me. And my mind was scattered, and I couldn't think, and I couldn't focus. And I was really under incredible demonic attacks. I was. It was very bad. And John would say to me, "Garrett, listen." But I couldn't listen. And he would say, "Garrett, stop and listen." But I couldn't. I was under attack too much. So finally he would say, "Garrett, stop and listen. I want you to do what I say." And grace came, and I was able to listen to him for a few seconds. And I had no idea what he wanted me to do. But he said, "Garrett, I want you to put your phone on speakerphone and put it down on the floor in your living room and sit next to it." And I put my phone on speakerphone, and I sat down in the middle of my living room. Now, I'm not going to go into detail here because it's extremely personal. But what John did is he commanded the demons out of me, and they left. They left. This man, now remember, I'm not using his real name. This man, through God's grace, has incredible authority over the demons. Remember, it's through God's grace, through God's power. One minute, I'm sitting in the middle of my living room on the floor, an absolute fleshly, demonic mess. The next minute, John commands the demons to leave, and most of them, if not almost all of them, left. And God really blessed me with John. God really blessed me and freed me up from just about all of that evil that was bothering me. This was the most confusing man I've ever met in my life. In fact, I haven't been through this kind of an experience again with anybody else that I talk to. Now, to make a long story short, let's wrap this up. John made a couple more promises to me that never came true. And one day I got angry, and I just said goodbye to him. And I unfriended him everywhere, and I probably blocked him everywhere. But thank God I have a couple pictures of John and his daughter saved. I save the pictures, and about once a month, God reminds me of John and his family. Wow, what a crazy experience that was. To meet a man who lied to me and tricked me and deceived me and played games with me and actually used forms of manipulation on me. But on the other hand, for him to know the Bible the way he does, for him to know the Lord the way he does, for him to command such powerful authority. Wow, what a crazy experience this was.